All right, settle in. Here's a story with knots in its heart and a few sharp turns along the way. I used to believe that if you watched closely enough, people would eventually reveal their true intentions. That was before Clara smiled at me across the cafe table and asked if I trusted her. We met on a Thursday, the kind of day that pretends to be insignificant. Rain glazed the windows. I was there early, as usual, because I hate the feeling of being the one who arrives late and apologizes. Clara arrived 10 minutes after me, unhurried, wearing a gray coat and a look that suggested she already knew something about my life that I didn't. "You're early," she said. "I like being prepared," I replied. She smiled at that. Later, I would realize that was the moment she decided I'd be easy to read. Clara was a journalist, or at least that's what she told me. We were introduced by my friend Marcus, who had a habit of connecting people the way children connect wires, just to see what sparks. Marcus said Clara was brilliant, relentless, and incapable of lying. That last part should have warned me. There were others in our orbit. Lena, my ex, still close enough to know my routines and distant enough to judge them. And Victor, my business partner, who spoke in careful sentences and never finished his coffee. We were all tangled together in ways that felt normal until they didn't. Clara and I grew close quickly. Too quickly, maybe. She asked sharp questions, not just about my work, but about my fears, my past, the things I never quite forgave myself for. I told her more than I should have. She listened like each word mattered, like she was assembling a puzzle and pleased with the progress. One night, after too much wine, she asked, "Do you ever wonder if the people closest to you are telling you the truth?" I laughed. "All the time. But that's just paranoia." She didn't laugh back. The first crack appeared when Lena called me at midnight. We hadn't spoken in weeks. "She's not who you think she is," Lena said, without greeting. "Clara?" I asked. "Yes, and Marcus knows." I wanted to dismiss it as jealousy, old wounds reopening. But doubt has a way of sinking in quietly. The next day, I asked Marcus directly. He sighed. "I hoped you wouldn't find out like this." That was twist number one. Clara wasn't a journalist. She was investigating Victor. Apparently, Victor had been skimming money from our company for years. Clara worked for a private firm hired by an anonymous client. Her job wasn't just to watch Victor. It was to watch me, to see how much I knew and whether I could be trusted. I confronted Clara that evening. She didn't deny it. "I did like you," she said. "That part was real." "That's convenient," I replied. "Truth usually is." I ended things then. Or I thought I did. Twist number two came a week later, when Victor disappeared. No calls, no emails. His apartment emptied out overnight. And then the police showed up, with questions for me. Someone had tipped them off, provided documents, emails, detailed timelines. The evidence was airtight. The tip didn't come from Clara. It came from Marcus. Marcus, who had introduced us all. Marcus, who had been quietly building a case of his own. It turned out he was the anonymous client who hired Clara. He suspected Victor years ago, but needed proof and leverage. "And Clara?" I asked him later, when everything was already falling apart. "She wasn't supposed to fall for you," Marcus said. "That complicated things." I felt used, but also strangely relieved. At least the story made sense now, or so I thought. The final twist came months later in the form of a letter, handwritten, Clara's. She confessed that while Marcus hired her to watch Victor and me, she uncovered something else. The company fraud didn't start with Victor. It started with me. Years ago, a decision I barely remembered, a signature I didn't question, a benefit I accepted because everyone else did. Victor had escalated it, yes, but I had opened the door. "I didn't tell Marcus," she wrote. "I wanted to see if you'd tell yourself." I sat with that letter for a long time. No accusations followed. Marcus never mentioned it. The truth stayed where it was, heavy and quiet. Clara disappeared after that. No forwarding address, no closure, just the echo of her question in the cafe. Do you trust me? Now when I think about intrigue, I don't imagine secrets whispered in dark corners. I think about the stories we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. About how relationships aren't just built on affection, but on selective honesty. The moral, if there is one, is this. The most dangerous intrigue isn't what others hide from you. It's what you choose not to see about yourself.